God morning and good morning. How's everyone doing today? My name is Lewis. I am your host, and you're listening to Talking Cancer, My Journey, My Way. Thank God for the wake up. Thank God for the wake up. Thank God for the wake up. Man, it feels a little cooler right now in San Diego, and that's good. Um, I was getting a little. Um, I'm over the heat and humidity. Really, the humidity kind of sucks. But I'm alive to see the day, so that's a blessing. Always flipping the script, always looking at the brighter side of things versus you know the cup half empty. You know what I mean? Constantly reminding myself that there are bigger and better things to worry about. Stop tripping on the little stuff, right? The things that are out of our control. Something I try to practice on a regular basis. For those that know and don't know, actually, for those that don't know, I am living with stage 4 metastatic cancer. It has now moved to my liver and my lymph nodes, and I am just doing all I can to live a quality life at this point as I research, uh, research for more clinical trials and things like that. For the simple fact that um, chemo wasn't too good for me the first time around. And almost passed away from chemo poisoning. So these things are factors in my journey. That's kind of where it's at. But at the same time, finding a good space mentally has been very key for me to continue moving forward and bring you a podcast like this. Where I continue to just try to be of positive mind, positive spirit, and let people know that we don't have to live in that misery of watching the clock tick. We don't have to be there. You know, but I do want to. A lot of this show as well is about awareness, and just getting the word out um, to to the world. Really, paying attention to signs of your body, and also if you feel like something isn't right, push the issue and push the issue of you know getting a stool sample or receiving a colonoscopy, things of that nature. Things that for the most part are taboo, and I could specifically say in the men's world, because I know I was like, mm-mm, no, we ain't getting. I'm not getting no. I'm not getting no colonoscopy when I turn 50. No, just completely just, and not even that. Just you know, from what I understand, and this is like a personal experience for that I speak of. Um, all I knew is that when you turn 50, it was routine that everybody, most men get a colonoscopy. The fact of the matter is, though, I didn't know why it was recommended at 50. I didn't know what they were doing. Why? Well, the reason for a colonoscopy is to check for cancer. Probably some other stuff too, but cancer is the main culprit. Okay, and I didn't know. Like I said, this. I mean, I'm grown. I didn't find this out till a couple years ago. Why? Obviously, because I got cancer now, but I didn't understand why. What's the screening for? Nobody ever says what the screening is for. My whole life growing up as an adult, I didn't know what the screening was for. You know. Um, with that being said, translated to me like if I didn't know what the screening was for, or better yet, it never really being said, what colonoscopy screenings are for. I didn't understand the I didn't understand the importance of a colonoscopy. You know, the reasoning behind it. Just it was for my generation. Maybe I start to see things now like more on TV. But for my generation, I didn't. It just wasn't made clear. You know, so when I say I was medically naive, I was truly, truly medically naive, and I'm getting better. I'm getting better now, but that goes into what I've been diagnosed, and now me doing my own research and wanting to get this information out to you and also to a younger audience. What really bothers me with colorectal cancer is that it's the statistic of knowing that now the age for colon cancer, colorectal cancer testing or colonoscopy is not given until you're 45. Okay, and if you have like some serious symptoms when you're younger, more than likely serious, they're probably not going to test you. But you're able to push that issue if you're aware of the possibilities. But the thing that bothers me with this age thing, you know, um, and it's a couple of things. First of all, um, obviously, if you catch something at an earlier stage versus the later stage, especially when we're speaking on cancer, um, the likelihood of you surviving it goes up. Okay, that's obvious, right? So, the thing that bothers me the most, though, is that when you're diagnosed, the number that bothers me the most is that from the day you're diagnosed, you probably have been living with it for at least 10 years. That's what bothers me. So, just knowing that alone, again, I'm 49 now. Okay, so I got diagnosed when I was 47. So it is the likelihood of me having it 10 years prior is extremely high. So I could have caught this at an early stage at 37. Now, um, me, I wasn't very, very, I wasn't, I wasn't going to too many doctor visits, put it that way, to get physicals and things like that. So that part, um, as an adult, is probably has something doing with my fault. Yeah, of course. Um, but also, not knowing or someone not letting me know the importance of any of these things, not having any kind of family history because the lack of communication within the family or, the socioeconomics of my family, um, just different things, different scenarios and different things played into the outcome of why I didn't go. Lack of knowledge, lack of importance to health and things like that led to this um, journey that I'm on. And what I am doing is hoping to reach people that don't have this type of conversation in the home, especially younger than 45, to understand that the importance of getting your health checkups, it's important that we go out and get health checkups, even though you feel so good and so strong and you look so good and so strong, men and women. Okay. It doesn't matter. Okay. The fact that I could have caught this at 37 possibly had I even known anything or maybe been more in tune with my body and told the doctor, yeah, you know what, I do got some abdominal pain, or I do got this at that. You know what, at 37, I don't even remember if I had abdominal pain. You know, I was out too much partying, smoking, and drinking at that time. You know, but I wanted to read just part of an article, a little excerpt basically from um, the NIH, the National Cancer Institute. Um, so, as you know, some of the common signs here are, diarrhea, rectal bleeding, abdominal pain, and iron deficiency. Okay. So, what I did want to read was an excerpt saying, and this is said by senior investigator Yin Kao, SCD, of the Washington University School of Medicine in St. Louis. He says, colorectal cancer is no longer a disease of just the older population. Okay? So think about that. Okay? For younger adults, we really want to raise awareness that if you have any symptoms, don't wait to see the doctor. Push the issue, is what I say. Especially find out, don't be afraid to have these conversations with your family. Hey, what happened to Uncle Ned? What happened to Grandpa Joe? What happened to, Auntie Lily or whatever? Ask these questions. Ask the questions of, are they genetic? Is it hereditary? Do you know? And if you're feeling symptoms similar to the ones I described, then please, push the issue of, getting a stool sample, even if it's early, because you could find things early. They put a time limit on you, like 45, but by the time 45 comes and you get something, you could already be in stage 2 or 3, maybe even 4. I caught mine at stage 3, and the numbers decrease. The survival rate decreases as you get into the later stages. Another part of the article, goes into saying confronting the rise in early onset colorectal cancer. Colorectal cancer is the third most common cancer in the United States among both men and women. The widespread adoption of screening in the mid-80s had led to a steady decline in cases of colorectal cancer among adults age 50 and older. However, new cases of early onset colorectal cancer, while still relatively rare, have been rising since the mid 1990s. Okay, so let me see what else it said. It said, but it's another part of it here. It says, in the response of this trend, cancer screening guidelines now recommend people start getting screened for colorectal cancer at the age of 45. So the number has been recommended, and it is now 45. But half of early onset colorectal cancers are diagnosed in people under 45 years old. for whom screening is not routinely recommended, except for those with inherited mutations in specific cancer related genes, such as people with Lynch syndrome or with a first degree relative who has had colorectal cancer. Younger adults are also more likely to ignore early signs of the disease, increasing the likelihood that their cancers aren't caught until common colorectal cancer symptoms seen in older adults, such as weight loss and rectal bleeding, become severe. Um, that's what you don't want. You want to survive. You want to catch it early. And why I don't understand, and it really makes me mad that you, if you don't see any rectal bleeding or things like that, things of that nature, or you don't know your history, um, you're not suffering weight loss or whatever, that the doctor be like, no, you have to wait till you're 45. You have to wait till you're 45. I don't understand. If I want a colonoscopy, why can't I just say I want a colonoscopy? You know, why can't I just be approved for one? I don't understand. Unless I have these severe symptoms, what if I don't know my medical history, my family's history? In my case, this is facts. You know, I wasn't raised by my parents. We didn't talk about these things in the home. These conversations didn't happen. I don't know if they happened for you in your home, but they didn't happen in my home. And I'm changing that within mine. Because we talk about it, what it is. You know, I haven't spoken to my younger one yet, to let her know in depth more. But, you know, I'm pretty sure that that conversation will happen. Um, what else does it say? It says Doctor, I think it's Cal. Dr. Cal noted that many early onset colorectal cancers aren't diagnosed until the cancer is at an advanced stage. For colorectal cancer that has spread to distant organs, only 14% of people will live for 5 years or longer. If caught at localized stage, 5 year survival is 90%. In addition to improving survival, early diagnosis also reduces the need for aggressive treatments, which can greatly impact a young person's quality of life, she said. To help improve early diagnosis in younger adults, Dr. Cow and her colleagues wondered whether they could identify certain warning signs associated with a diagnosis of early onset colorectal cancer. Um, well, we know some of the early warning signs, but I'll continue reading. Identify the warning signs. In the new study found in part by NCI, the researchers use a U.S. insurance database um, of about 113 million adults between the ages of 18 to 64. Among adults with at least 2 years of data, they identified 5,075 people ages 18 to 49 with colorectal cancer. So, out of 113 million people, 18 to 64, and people that had at least 2 years of data. Okay, so I think these are some of the key things that when I read this, you really have to pay attention to what's being said. Okay, people 18 to 64. Now, 18, at 18, you're probably not going to have 2 years of data. Seriously, okay? So, even though the number is small compared to 113 million, it's still large because more than likely there's a lot of things that are getting missed because they didn't have the information or data to analyze. Okay, so among adults with at least 2 years of data, they identified 5,075 people with ages 18 to 49 with colorectal cancer and 22,378 people without colorectal cancer. The two groups were matched by age and other factors such as sex and where they live. The average age was 43. Okay? So the average age was 43. Remember what I said though. The average age was 43 when they detected it, which means 10 years before that, it could have been 33. Right? The researchers then checked the claims data for 17 pre specified signs of colorectal cancer to see if any of these were found more frequently in the cancer group in the period between 3 months and 2 years before diagnosis than the control group. The four signs turned out to be more common among those who were diagnosed with early onset colorectal than those who weren't over a similar time period. Yeah, those signs for early onset again would be diarrhea, abdominal pain, rectal bleeding, and iron deficiency. So, if you're going to the doctor, if you have iron deficiency, hey, that's a not to say that you have colorectal cancer, but I mean it'll be a good excuse to get a stool sample and start this process early for early detection. You know, the rectal bleeding, you're probably I don't know if that's really for me. I don't know if that's really considered early onset, but if you have rectal bleeding, they're saying it's considered early onset, so you could catch this early. Abdominal pain, diarrhea, things like that. So please be aware and go get checked, please. Um, my whole journey at this particular point is bringing awareness to a younger demographic to try to catch this early. Be aware of signs in your body. Don't blame it on, hey, I got diarrhea. Oh, yeah, I drank a lot yesterday. Well, I ate bad food. If you're having diarrhea on a regular basis, please do talk to your doctor about it. Don't be afraid to say something. Don't be embarrassed to say something. Don't be afraid to ask questions to your parents to bring up these kind of subjects. Bring up Uncle Henry. Why did he die and things like that. No, I don't want to talk about it. You're stirring up old feelings and old emotions. No. Things need to be said. It's one thing I've always disliked about the older community is that we don't like to talk, or they don't like to talk um, about the past. We could break generational curses if we just talked. Let's go. That's my time. I'm out. Peace, love, one.